Well, hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and hello if you're new here and you're stopping by for the first time. In this video, slightly something different for this week. Bit of a tech video, install / review. For those of you that know the channel for the last year or so, I've been using INNOVV's N1 Pro, which is their first device. Been using that for just over a year. I was really happy with it. And now they've asked me if I'd like to try their N2 version, which is a slightly updated version for the better. So that is what you've seen at the start of the video, is me removing the N1 Pro and updating it with their N2 model. Now predominantly they're pretty similar with regards to software and what it provides you, but this has been updated so you can have optional extras. You can add a front and rear dash cam. Now on the N1 Pro it already came with 2 cameras for front and rear, full HD at 1080p. On the N2 you can update that, and rather than going for the 1080 cameras, you can upgrade if you wanted to 2 front and rear 2K cameras. There's an optional tyre pressure warning system, which is basically 2 small valves that you can mount to the valves on your tyres or onto your wheels, and it will then give you a readout of your tyre pressures on the display. Also, it has an added optional extra of a GPS module, which I've got on this bike. As I said, it is an added optional at an extra cost. But that basically means that on this version you can have this dash, so you can get your speedo, you can have your direction of travel, your latitude, longitude, your speed, and all that kind of good stuff. Now on the N1 Pro model it doesn't have that option because it uses the GPS from your phone, which obviously can drain your battery a bit faster. Not so much for an issue for me, because I have mine mounted charging on my handlebars. But you can have that added extra if you want. Now the N1 Pro comes as a full package, so you buy the unit, you get a front and rear camera, and they have that model has the optional extras of the tyre pressure system. Now on the N2 you can build it and make it however you want. You can just have the display if you wanted to, no dash cams. You can add whatever camera system you want. As I said, either the 1080 or the 2K packages. Tyre pressure gauges are available for this, and the GPS module. So you can basically build the N2 how you want it. So the price is kind of to and from. I'll put the a link to their website down in the description below if you are interested in checking them out. Now I was hoping on the install side of things for the wiring harness to be the same from the N1 Pro onto the N2, which just means I just had to swap out the cameras and the device. But that wasn't the case, unfortunately. It's a whole brand new wiring harness due to the extra cabling for the GPS module. So unfortunately I had to strip everything back off and then reinstall the new stuff. As I said, it is a bit of a long job. Slightly easier done because I could pull or use the cables that were on it before. The wiring harness clamped on or cable tied the new harness onto now. I could just drag it through the hole that I'd located to run the wiring through. On the first install of the N1 Pro, I had to strip the bike down quite a fair bit, take all the side panels off to get access under the tank so I could neatly run all the cables. So for mounting the unit itself, they provide, again, there's a few different variants on the mounts that you can use depending on where you want to mount it on your bike. On this adventure bike here, I've got a bar that runs on top of the speedo, so I can just use their basic mount, which just gives you the ability to tilt forward and back. But if you haven't got that on your bike and you're using it on a sports bike or a naked bike and you want it to have it down on your handlebars or maybe here on the side, they provide other mounts which gives you a bit more adjustability, like this ball joint mount here for this camera. It's a similar sort of system. You just mount a ball joint somewhere down on your clamp on your handlebars, or grip it onto the bars itself. You've got a little arm and another ball joint on the back of the device, so you can move it in all directions, because if you were to have it on the side here, you need a bit more adjustability on that just so you can see the display. Now I've dropped INNOVV another email as well, because the tyre pressure gauges from the N1 Pro, I couldn't get them to pair with the N2, so I've dropped them the mail. I'm not sure, it's possible that they're not compatible with the N2, and I'd have to get the N2 specific TPGs, so I'm just waiting on a reply from INNOVV on that issue. But as I said before, it's just like a little small Bluetooth valve that you screw onto the valve of your tyre or your wheel. You pair it to the device, and then you can see, you probably can't see it, or you probably can, it's reading 0 for the front and rear, because they won't pair. You can set an alarm so it warns you when your pressures drop to whatever settings you want it to tell you. So that's a nice little extra to have, worth the add-on, I would say. Now with regards to dash cams, as soon as you turn the bike on, both front and rear cameras start recording and stop recording as soon as you turn the bike off. It does have the added extra feature on this device. If your bike is parked up somewhere on a car park and somebody knocks it, drives into it, or tries to steal it, or whatever it is, the bike detects that the bike is being moved, and it will start recording. So you have CCTV footage if somebody damages your bike or tries to rob it. And within the settings, you can set up the sensitivity of that, how abrupt the bike has to be knocked or moved for it to start recording. You can set all that up in the menu settings itself. Now with the dash cams, not only does it record your bike's every movement, you can also use it as a rear view mirror, like I've got it on here. So you just turn on the rear camera and you've got a rear view mirror on your display, which is quite a nice touch. I quite like that. And if you wanted to, by the touch of a button, you can switch between the cameras. You can have both cameras on display, front and rear. You can swap the arrangement of them, left or right. And with another push of the button, you can have the front view or the rear view. Now again, you can stop and start recording from here. You can grab a screenshot of a photo. You can change all kinds of different settings within that. You can change your cameras, although they're 2K cameras, you can change it to record in 1080 if you want to save card space. Now I've got a 128 gig memory card in this device. I think it supports up to 256, but I've set it onto a loop, so it's not footage that I would probably use, although it might be quite cool to add it in some of my touring videos. But after a while, as soon as the card finishes, set to loop, so it just re-records over any old footage that you're not using. Now, if something were to happen and you did have CCTV footage of something that happened while you're out on a ride, an accident, or if somebody tries to steal your bike, you can connect the device to your phone via their app, and then you can download whatever piece of footage you need for evidence, or even if you just want to watch it back. Now, because the device is connected to your phone, it's obviously constantly over-the-air updates, so it will update its firmware. Or I don't know if that's automatic or whether you have to do it manually, but because it's connected obviously constantly to the internet, you're always up to date with the latest software, latest firmware. Because obviously over time, if it gets any bugs or they improve anything, you need to update your device to keep yourself up to date. Now it's worth mentioning, especially for me, especially a lot of you that travel on motorcycles, obviously you all have your favourite app that you use for navigation. I personally use my route app, which I pay for, which gives me turn-by-turn instructions over my telephone, and I can plan my routes at home with ease over PC. The app is then mirrored obviously onto the device, but it's worth mentioning that some apps develop their apps slightly less or more for Apple Carplay and Android Auto. Now in my particular case, my route app is better on the phone's app than it is on Android Auto. So that's worth bearing in mind. It's not the device that's lacking, it's the companies that don't develop their apps as much as they do for telephones. For example, I think last year I heard that Calimoto, I know a lot of you use Calimoto wasn't supported for Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. I don't know if that has changed. I would hope so. But that's something to bear in mind, that some apps may appear to be inferior on an Apple CarPlay device. Now, needless to say, some apps aren't available at all on Apple CarPlay / Android Auto. They're not developed at all. So, yeah, obviously you can't watch Netflix while you're riding your bike. That is not supported. Now, over the past sort of 12, 13 years or so, I've always been a fan of Garmin, so I was a bit dubious about chopping that in or getting rid of it and using an Apple CarPlay system. It took me initially a while to get used to things. But to be honest, now that I've had it for over a year, I've been using the older model, I like it more than my Garmin. It works far better. For those of you that you know, gone are the days where you'd have to connect your Cardo headset to your phone and to your sat-nav or to your bike. You'd have to turn them on in certain orders, and if you didn't do that, not everything would work. For those that you know will know, sometimes it was an absolute nightmare. You wouldn't have audio on your music, but you would have for your navigation, etc. And all that is gone with these devices, or personally for this device. All you have to do is connect your Cardo to your phone, and that's it. So it is a lot easier. The connectivity is a lot faster. It overlays your music beautifully to your sort of navigation prompts, or if you're on intercom with other riders. It doesn't, I mean, I'm on my older Garmin. It would cut the intercom completely to give you your turn-by-turn prompts and then reconnect you back to your intercom call. And a lot of the time it wouldn't reconnect, so you'd have to stop and restart your group chat. It doesn't do that on this device either. It just lowers the volume on your intercom chat, gives you your prompt, and then boosts the volume back up to what it was before. So all that works seamlessly, and it really does work great. You can listen to music while you're still on intercom. You can still have the prompts from your sat-nav. I used to have to turn the prompts off or mute the prompts because it was always cutting off the conversation. Really annoying. With this device, everything works seamlessly. You can chat away, you can listen to music, you can still hear your turn-by-turn navigation. On the older N1 Pro, I don't know if it was on purpose, but everyone in my intercom chat could hear the navigation prompts of where to turn, after how many 100 meters turn left. Everybody could hear it, so everybody knew. Although I was leading, everybody knew that where they were going. So that was a really nice touch. I've not tried it on this as yet. I don't know if that was by accident or if that was done on purpose, but really nice feature. Now, needless to say, you don't have to have your phone mounted on your handlebars like I do. You can have your phone in your tank bag or in your pocket or on your backpack, and you can forget about your phone. You can still do everything on the device, so you can put in a destination. Yeah, I don't know if you can. Yeah, you can plan a route on my route app over the display, but I tend to sit at home and enjoy sitting on my PC. It's a bit easier to do it that way rather than do it on the device, but you can if you want to. It's just that for me, I like to charge my phone while I'm riding, and to be honest, because I use my route app for the navigation side of things, and because it's better on the telephone, I like to have that running as well as the display. Just small things that when I want to zoom in, I like to zoom in on my main device so I can see the severity of bends, etc. It doesn't have the pinch feature just to zoom in and out. You have to click a button, and then you've got your plus and minus to zoom in and out. So it's a bit of a pain in the arse if you're doing that on the fly. On the phone, you've got your pinch. So I zoom right out on my phone so I can see the route, so I can see if there's any traffic jams or roadworks, etc. You can see that then obviously on the route over via the app, and then I zoom right in on the device just to show me, as I said, severity of bends, etc. But as I said, you don't have to do that. You can bin off your phone into your pocket and just use the device, but that's just my personal preference. Yeah, so to sum up, basically the N1 Pro that I had previously last year, you can buy that as a package. That comes the display and the front and rear HD 1080p cameras, with an added option if you wanted to of the tyre pressure gauges. But the N1 Pro doesn't give you the option for its GPS module, or a standalone GPS module that uses, as I said, your GPS from your phone, which can kill your battery. The INNOVV N2 is a bit more flexible. You can just buy the device or the display if you wanted to. You can add front and rear dash cams, whether you want HD 1080p or upgrade to front and rear 2K cameras. Again, you can get the tyre pressure gauge system as an added option, and obviously on the N2, as is on this bike, the GPS module, which I like because it gives you all your details. You can have your speedo running if you didn't want to have your maps on, and that gives you your direction, your latitude, longitude, your speed, and all that kind of good stuff. You can see your tyre pressures at the front, and you can control everything from that screen. So I really like that. That's definitely an option that I would go for. And obviously, as I said before, your mounting options, there's a variety of options that you can choose. That's obviously depending on you, sort of bike specific, or where you want to mount it. That depends on what mount you would need to add to your order. So that is pretty much all I can say about it, to be honest. Installed it yesterday, so this is the first time out trying it, so I'm going to be obviously putting it through its paces over winter time. I've actually got a 3-day tour next weekend to the Harz Mountains, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I should be using it to the full, and I shall update you on how I get on with it. But thus far, everything's working as it should be. And as I said, the N1 Pro that I was using the last year or so, I was very happy with that. So I'm expecting only good things from this one. Now, as I said before, I've had all the other manufacturers that make these devices ask me, hello. Somebody getting married? Blimey. Yeah, what was I? All the other manufacturers have got in touch with me and asked to review their products. They're all sort of similar things, but as I said, it's too much of an install to be making comparison videos. The only slight difference I've seen on other manufacturers is that some of them have a blind spot detection system. So basically, you can add a rear radar, which will give you your blind spot detection, but that doesn't come with this on this N2. But INNOVV do provide 2 or 3 different systems for blind spot detection, so if you're interested in them, they're obviously on their website as well. But I will mention that out of all the manufacturers that asked me to review their products, I mean, I've been working with INNOVV now for a couple of years. INNOVV were the only ones that didn't offer me any type of commission or payment for any content that I produce, so hopefully that is a plus point for you to see that, you know, I'm giving you my thorough opinion or honest opinion of their products, and I'm not being paid or earning any wonga to say that it's good when it possibly isn't. But as I said, been working with INNOVV the last couple of years, and I love their products. Really high quality stuff, and yeah, all good thus far. So that is it for this week's vid. Obviously, I'm going to be using this for the next foreseeable future, so you'll be seeing this device being used in all my sort of other content, touring videos, etc. And if you've got any questions on it, do fire them down below, and I shall do my best to answer them for you. So that is it for today. Thanks for watching. Be sure to leave any comments, questions, queries down below. My name's Sean, and I shall see you in the next one.